Now on, whenever you make a circle, you start at 2. Okay, let's now see how this works with all of our other letters. Let me put my little magnet down. Okay. Now, the thing I keep stressing is how precise but how simple spalding is. Because otherwise poor children are left to invent letters and concoct. And I even see now the way you're writing, it's a little bit fancy. This is more like connecting for script or what we call copperplate. But manuscript is used for printing, for charts, for text. It has universal appeal. There are 2 ways to write. There's manuscript, and there are many, many styles of fonts on the computer for script or what they call italic. There are many, many types. But the manuscript is your block lettering. And you need it. You need it when you fill out legal documents. You need it when you make charts. Okay? So it has application. Other fancier ones like this, they're starting to get into what we call the italic.
This is the Victorian cursive and writing,
Right,
and
right.
This is what the teaching
It's called copperplate, yes. But you still need to know how to do manuscript.
Yeah, basic, yeah.
And this is the easiest way I know to do it. Because I have other charts on manuscript that don't produce consistent, beautiful letters. This will produce a consistent appeal because everything is systematic. Okay, so let us now go to our next letter. Now again, I'm spending a lot of time on this because she will not start the spelling list until the letters are perfect. No climbing on that. Sit down. Thank you. She will not start the spelling list until the phonograms are perfected and the letter forms are perfected. There's no point in extending bad habits. Because you can't undo them. You either get it right, or you're just going to extend a bad habit. All right? So we have now, let's quickly do our other ones. We're going to make our clock face. I'll make it with my lighter pen, if you had the advantage of a marker. Okay, so the next letter is kusa. 2 o'clock, 10, 8, 4, stop. Perfect. You see it at the bottom of your page, Preeti, there? The clock face letters at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay? Next one. Can you see how easy this becomes?
This is
Kusa. When you learn the phonograms, you'll... It's not C.
It's not C.
It's kusa. It's a new vocabulary. Next phonogram?
It's like we're learning ABCD all over again.
It's not ABC even. It's phonograms. It's a new way of seeing. Okay, now we're going to make a clock face letter that has a tall. I'm going to make a clock. Okay? Now we're making the phonogram D. We start at 2. Where do we go?
10,
Then where?
8,
Then?
4,
Then? Straight up?
straight up.
Up, up, and then retrace. She doesn't have you lift your pencil. You always keep it and come back down to the base. Now, is that very hard? Very easy. It's just a matter of getting them practiced in making straight lines and circles. And at the beginning, they need practice with that. We were working with him. You need to sit still. Can you sit still? Or worse, let him draw. But he should be engaged. The minute a child is not engaged, what will he do? He'll squirm. So you have to be, especially if I get people coming here and they want to teach. I've had parents coming here with 3-year-olds. I want to start a preschool. And then the child raises his fist to hit me, and the mother doesn't say anything. And I say, Mataji, I'm not spending any more time with you. If you can't control your own child, how will you control a room of them? You can't. The problem will multiply. It will be like a pack. So that's the first thing I look for, because teaching is not just, now pretty, you're just making your own kind of lettering.
No, I'm just practicing the 2s and 4s.
Yeah, but you're adding little tails and things.
I'm just trying to break that
Yeah,
habit.
break that habit now, because this is non-script. This is something else.
Okay.
If you, no, see, you're going too
Oh,
fast.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make your circle
Okay.
first.
And that's,
Okay.
and this is that.
Yeah, but you see, it's not really, it's not really this.
So if I,
You're just making it, you go perfect circle first. Slow down. You're just doing something. That's what that's not going to work. There you go. You see the difference?
yeah.
Right. Otherwise, you're just going to do what you do, and they're going to do what you do, and then they won't know the perfect. D. This is D. D.
D. D.
D. D. That's not
D as in dog, but D.
just D. Okay? Right now, it's
That's it.
yeah, we won't say D. We don't say D.
That's it.
Okay? Are you ready for your next one?
What would you call A mother?
Let's stick with finishing this because we're not going past the letters yet.
So, okay.
Okay? What's your next one?
F.
Looks like F, but we say F. All right, we start up here. 2 o'clock. Turn your board vertically.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? Yeah.
2 o'clock. Curve slowly over to 10.
Yeah.
Come straight down. Now you may pick up your pencil and you put a short horizontal a little bit above middle. What's this Phonogram?
So it's not even fur.
It's just
It's just,
no vowel. Just
there's no in the end.
a no. It's not like Hindi or Sanskrit where the vowel is built in.
Yeah.
It's just very important. Okay, did you all make perfect ones? Let's take a look. Hold them up. Okay, it could be a little straighter. Very good. That's a very good one. Your horizontal could be a little higher. Let's see the samples. Much better. Pretty's already converted. Very good. Your horizontal should be higher. It's a little bit higher, but the letter form is good. Pretty good. A little bit too big horizontal, short and higher than middle point. Not too bad. His horizontal is a little bit big. Shorter horizontal. Let's see yours, Novel. Perfect. Okay? You just have to have a little faith. Do it right, because otherwise you're just going to do whatever you do and they're going to copy you.
Yeah.
And then they're not doing Spalding.
Yeah.
Spalding is scientific. You either do it or you don't do it. It's either black or white. Okay, let's do good job. Somebody said, what's good job?
Good job.
Good job. Sounds like some globgerman or something.
Good job.
Okay, 2 o'clock with me. 2 o'clock. Say 2,
2,
10,
10,
8. And don't just say it, do it. 4,
4,
straight up to 2. Now drop down to 4. Curve around to 8. What do you have?
Good job.
It's a little bit short down at the bottom. Yeah, it needs to be like this. If you were to translate it, it would fit here with here. Okay, everybody, let's see your good jobs. Pretty good. It goes up almost to 9, but good. Let's see yours. Pretty good. It's a little bit of a flat tire there up there in your circle. You try to just keep looking. Do I have a perfect circle? That's pretty good. I think you started big, but his forming is good. Your letter forms are good. Usually men are very good at print. Ladies like script better. Okay, let's see. Hold it up. Good. Hey, that's getting really good. Can he do that all by himself? Did you do that? Pretty good. Yeah. Archie? Good job. It's going over a little bit on the bottom. You see the tail? Everything should be almost, if I lifted this up, it would fit here. Okay, our next round letter is A-O-U. What is it? A, not O. A-O-U. A-O-U. Okay, 2 o'clock. A-O-U. Curve nicely over to 10. Do it slowly. Down to 8. Over to 4 and back up to 2. And what's this? Ah, oh, ooh. Okay? Perfect. Remember, always think of the positions. Don't just make circles like a machine or a chapati maker. You guys have chapati makers now. That's mechanical. You want to make nice, perfect. You see? 2, 10, 8, 4. And always think, when I make a circle, I'm always saying in my mind 2, 10, 8, 4. Our next clock face letter. Oh, this is a tough one. Sizz. Sizz. 2 sounds here. Ready? Start at 2. Go slow now. You're driving your car around a mountain. 2. Over to 10. Now there's a big turn in the road. Curve. Swing around to 4. Now there's another curve on the mountain. And curve up to 8. Good. 2, 10, 4, 8. Okay, see, now you're doing fine. Now I'm not saying break your other habit, but learn a new one as well.
Yeah.
Okay? And especially you have to teach manuscript. Because if you don't do this, the beginning writing child, he won't see the beauty of his writing. His writing will be perfect. Look at these letters. They're perfect. It's pleasing, easy to read. And that's her point. If you can't decipher the letter as a child, you won't spell it right. She says precise spelling means precise handwriting. So that's why I make such a big deal about this. And all of my students did. It's not impossible. Impossible, and it probably is right. It's just not, it's underestimating children's capacity. Okay, what's our next one? Qua. Can you see that? Qua. Qua. Because there are 2 letters. Q is always with you. And it's not a 2-letter phonogram. It's just together. So here we go. We're going to put 2, curve to 10, curve to 8, go to 4, go straight up to 2. Drop down 1 space, and this is the only one that's different. You make a little tick mark here. Because Q is not a G, so you make a straight little tick mark. Yeah, like that. That's qua. And Q will always be accompanied with a U.
So it's a single.
It's a single phonogram, yes. So we're going to put it together like this. 2, 10, 8, 4. Straight up, straight down with a little tick mark. Now we're going to make a straight line down to 8, curve it over to 4, straight up, and don't lift your pencil, and come down. This is the phonogram qua. Queen, quiet, quickly. Quintessence. Wow, that's so good. Yes. Can you all see qua? You see this is a new language now. Phonograms is a completely different way. Oh, it's curving there. Yeah, she erased that. I caught her. See, they like to put the little umbrella handle. It looks cute, but it's not manuscript.
Yeah.
It's italic. You know, like the famous Old English, like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. It just sort of goes like this and like that, and it's not even script. It's different. Italic is a whole other thing. You know, it's beautiful with pens and things. Calligraphy. It's calligraphy. But that's not what we want now. Okay, there's plenty of time for all that. But first you have to master the basics. Your IU is a bit small, the qua is big, but the letter forms are good. 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 Okay? So did you see those? And you get the idea what to do with the rest of them? You turn the page, we won't go through all of them.
Yeah.
But you see every letter of the alphabet. Look at how pleasing that alphabet is. Can you imagine a first grade child coming up with writing like this? It's possible. I have seen it. I remember I took Krishna Priya to the Gurukula one time. Pajavali had asked her to come in and do a reading demonstration. And she had to sign in the guest book. And she wrote her name, and the guard looked at it. And he fainted. He said, she wrote that? Perfect. So they can do it. He thought, my God, this she's perfect letter, Krishna Priya. Even the guard noticed it. Okay? So this can translate to uppercase, lowercase, and also numerals. Numerals are 3/4 of space. You have letters we have 3 zones. You have letters that are just middle zone, like a, a, kasa. Letters that are 2, like d. Letters that are 2, like lower ones, like p. You have some letters with the capitals that are 3 zones, like capital Y, I. 2 zones above and 1 zone below. This is a 3-zone letter, upper, middle, and lower.
What do you call it?
Zones.
Numeral?
Oh, numerals are 2, 1.5. Let me do that. Here are your 3 zones, upper, middle, lower, right? 3 zones. Numerals are like half, a little bit above, okay? They're not middle zone, and they're not double space. They're 1.5. So when you write numerals, you write them 1.5. Everybody following that okay? And also when you do punctuation marks, exclamation points, question marks, they are 1.5. Okay? They're not a full 2, and they're not just 1. Punctuation marks and numerals are 1.5. You'll see it in the big book, 1.5. It's pleasing. If you have a numeral that's as big as your capital, it's overbearing. And if it's too small, so it's if you have numerals in your text, okay? Everybody understand now the principle of perfect writing?
What's a manuscript?
Manuscript means block lettering.
And print?
Yeah, as opposed to script. Script means connected letters.
And print?
Print is print, like this manuscript.
Caps lock?
Yeah,
Caps lock.
yeah, caps.
And text?
Text? Well, that might be something on the computer for...
No, you said that men are good with print and
No, usually men prefer to print.
caps lock.
Yeah, you don't find men doing too much script. They like the block. They like the block. And I know when I do my mind maps, my charts, I use block because it's easier to read. Script is perfect for letter writing and speed. It's beautiful if done properly. Anything's beautiful if done properly, and ugly if done improperly. But men usually like the block. Some are expert calligraphers. I'm not saying they won't do this or that. Some of the world's best calligraphers are men, no problem. Okay? So now I think we're ready for learning some phonograms.
Yes. Reading for phonograms.
Well, you have to take the whole, like Prabhupada said, you just can't pick and choose in the Gita. I like chapter 7, but I'm not going to follow chapter 13. It doesn't work. That's the same thing, right? I pick and choose. I think the source of everything is Brahman. I'll pick this sloka because it sounds like that. I'll forget another sloka. I'll forget 7:7. Everything rests upon me as pearls are truth. There's no higher truth. I don't want that sloka, I want this one. So Spalding is like that. Some people can start to pick and choose. They won't get the result. And actually, they can just like people who comment on the Gita, they can mislead you. You can get the opposite. So I recommend you follow her. She's put her life into this. You can see, and you can see how beautifully it works. Okay, so let's learn some phonograms now. We're going to analyze. Before you start a job, you look at this and you say, wow, 70 black and white things. Too much. So we're going to analyze it. He's ready for his board now. The minute he starts hanging like a monkey, you give him his slate. I have to be on the parents to be on the kid, It's just like, because parents want to learn too, but then they forget that the kid is going wild. teachers have eyes in the back of their heads. They actually have a set of eyes all around their heads, you know. And you're watching, you're monitoring like on a screen for the, you know, the military, you know. Are there any planes up there? Because one little child could be just completely terrorizing another child in your room and you haven't even noticed it. So, and you have to catch it. So keep them busy. Don't bend your ears. That's hard on you. See, I don't miss a thing. You watch the Ron Clark movie. He's telling his students, I have eyes in the back of my head. Okay, ready? We're going to analyze the phonograms. We'll take Preeti's chart here. I like to make things color-coded. This is black and white, okay? And then, of course, I always doctor things up. These are the phonograms in script. But this shows us how to break it down a little bit. Let's do it numerically. Everybody write on your chart the number 70. Okay, what does 70 stand for?
70 phonograms.
70 phonograms. Okay. And a phonogram, as we defined before, is a letter or a fixed combination. What is it? It's a letter or a fixed, everybody say? A fixed combination of letters that produce one or more sounds. Did you hear that definition? A phonogram is a single letter or a fixed combination, not just any combination, it's a fixed combination of letters that produce one or more sounds. Third time. A phonogram, repeat, is a single letter or a fixed combination of letters that produce one or more sounds. Now tell your study buddy, what is a phonogram?
A phonogram is a single letter or a fixed combination of letters that produce one or more sounds.
Good. Does that make sense now? You have some that are one letter and some that are more than one letter. Some make one sound, some make more than one sound. Okay, so you have 4 points in the definition. Understand now what a phonogram is? When we say letter and we want to indicate the alphabet, we say the name of the letter. Its name. A means that's the name of that letter. But its phonogram sounds are a, ah. But if you want to know the name of the letter, you say that is the letter A. That's its name. If I want to say this letter, it's C. That's the name of the letter. But it's not the phonogram. The phonogram is K, S, because it makes two sounds. Okay, you see the difference? And everybody clear on what a phonogram is as opposed to an alphabet? Alphabet is important for alphabetizing. A, B, C, D, which is sequence, and knowing the name of the letter. And sometimes with the phonograms we will stress, this is the sound that's the name of the letter. But that's the only reason we stick to alphabet. Otherwise we disregard it. It gets in the way. And we don't even say ba as in baby. We just say ba. Because if you start throwing in too much information, they can't decode fast. So they just learn to say these sounds, ba, kasa, da, kaja. And then after a while they string them together and it's called phoneme. A phoneme is the strung together sound that produces the entire word. That way they can decode big words because they know the sounds. They can say ah, n, o, g, r, am, z. That Mataji too. Be careful. Sorry. Even little ones, once they know that, they can catch the phonograms. This is the E. It's not T-H-E. T-H-E does not say that word. But the E says that word. P-H does not say that word. P-H. But the two-letter F says that word. So that's why they can read so much. Master this, start them on the list of spelling, teach them syllables, making syllables with your gestures, and then they're decoding huge words very systematically. It's two k, k before k. Before E, I, or Y always says S. Centipede, cylinder, Cinderella. It always, 100% of the time, this letter before E, I, or Y will always say S. Before? E, I, or Y will always say S. 100%. It's coming, central, city, cylinder, cycle.
That is if it is used before the vowels.
Before E, I, or Y. Only those three.
Not
E?
O?
No.
Not O, E, I, Y.
100% of the time. No fail.
And when do we use G?
We're getting into that later. If we get into details now, we'll never finish. Okay? So let us analyze our phonograms some more. First of all, we define them. And we know there are 70. Okay? Next fact. Are we ready? In English, there are 26 letters to the alphabet. How many? 26 letters. So in our phonograms, we will have the 26 letters of the alphabet. The breakdown for that is 21 consonants and 5 vowels. How many consonants?
21.
And how many vowels? Okay. So that's, we're now trying to break this chart down, right? Because if I just look at 70 and I go through them, but if I analyze it and I break them down. Now here I have shown in yellow, what do you think I have shown? What is this yellow portion? Consonants. 7 in a row, 3 rows make how many? 21 consonants. Can you follow what I've done? What are these 5 red blocks? The vowels. So already we've started to break down this chart. It's called chunking in education. I don't try to just separately learn a lot of isolated facts. I see how I can group things to make my job more mind easy. So we know out of the 70 phonograms, 26 are the alphabet. Of those 26, 21 will be consonants and 5 will be vowels. And to designate that, now I did it with the script side, but I did 3 columns of 7. That makes 21 yellow boxes, mostly yellow. If you see other things in here, it's because there's even more information in those boxes. But these are all the consonants. We have 5 red boxes with a heart, because a vowel is a syllable. It's the heart of a sound. You cannot have a syllable without a vowel. Right? In Sanskrit, vowel means syllable. A, A, A. These are coming from the diaphragm. The consonants, as in Sanskrit, Sanskrit explains it, the consonants break that sound at different points in the vocal system. K, the palatals, the roof, the tongue, dentals, the teeth. those other consonants in Sanskrit are very clearly defined. The same thing is there in English, but they haven't defined it so much. That means that this sound coming up from my diaphragm is broken at a certain point in the vocal system. Right? K, g, j, t, t. The cerebrals, the palatals, the dentals, the sibilants, right? And then they have the semivowels, yeah. So that's there too. But we in English just have 21 consonants, 5 vowels, and I put the heart there because vowel is synonymous with syllable. If you have a syllable like today, 2 syllables, you have oo and a. T, oo, d, a. But you have to have that vowel sound. You understand? Or you don't have another syllable. Syllable means there's a vowel sound in there. Everybody understand that? And the children, when they say today, they go to-day. Every word is broken up into its sounds with their body. That's why they learn to break up big words. If we take the word like Phonogram, they see how a word is broken up into syllables, and they know the sound combinations. Okay? If I say transmigration, that's a big word. How many syllables? 4. Can you do it with me? Transmigration. And then they will learn the phonograms that are in there. Like sh, the tall one. It's not TI. Okay? So now we know a little bit of something. Now we're going to learn a little bit more about these phonograms. You see there are 5 sky blue ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see that? In the phonogram system, we have 5 different ways to spell one sound. And that sound is Can you all say There are 5 ways to spell Now we use a little sentence. So we're going to do our memory sentence. You see the 5 here, and you see them here. Here you have your 3 rows of your consonants. You have 5 vowels. And then from here to here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phonograms that are 5 ways to spell the same sound. So we have a special sentence. Are we ready? And you have to do this with me. As in her. So please say as in her. You're pointing to some lady. As in her. And that's the most frequent. That phonogram, if you have on your little book, is the combination of these 2 letters. And it's underlined to show that they're read together. This is the phonogram as in her. This is the most frequent. When you get many phonograms making one sound, she presents them according to the frequency in which they are used. So that means the first one is, you'll see this the most, and the last one, you'll seldom see it. Okay? So frequency, it's not random. As in her. Your next one, underline it. As in first. Now in India, they'll say first. But the proper pronunciation is first. As in first. But you'll see in India, they'll say first.
They skip the R.
I don't know what they do, but it's not what we, at least not, it's not the American pronunciation. as in first. She gives UK pronunciations and Australian also in her revised books. Because the British and the Australians will have slightly different. But the origin is an American system. But now it's an American system, but now it's gone worldwide. So she has adapted it. She has it in her pronunciation guides, how to adjust to British or Australian. But this is the American pronunciation. If I see this, I'll say first. Okay? As in her, everybody? As in first. The third frequent spelling you'll see this next. Not as often, but you'll see this a lot.
Bird.
This is as in nurse.
Nurse.
As in nurse. What is it? As in, I have to see the nurse. I have a headache. So let's revise. As in her. As in first. And as in nurse.
As in nurse.
Now we have another phonogram in which we have a W at the beginning, but we don't sound it. Believe it or not, this is an That's why I'm telling you, English is strange. As in worship. And you have to underline all three. As in worship.
But if it's as in worship, then it should be worship. Worship.
No. Otherwise you would say war. Okay. It's unusual, isn't it? Work, worship, worth. How much is this worth?
Yeah, but the work comes.
The what is there.
Yeah, the what is there, but it's the sound is, you have to put it, in other words, I'm not saying this is W. It is sounded. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it's not sounded. But when you see it, you're focusing on this as being an sound. That's why I should clarify this.
These are two different alphabets, like what and the
This is the fourth as in worship. When there's a W-O-R, that all three are underlined as one phonogram. But we don't say war. We just say That's my point. As in worship. Okay? But you have to underline the three. It's not W and or. When you get a W, this becomes Okay? So the first one is as in her, as in first, as in nurse. Fourth one, as in worship. Work, worth. How much is this worth to you? You don't find it as much, but it's there. And the last one is confusing. It looks like ear. Doesn't it? But if it's underlined, all three, it's the phonogram, as in early.
Oh God.
That's the fifth Yes, you can see how this takes a lot of the mystery out of spelling for children.
Early.
As in early.
But how do we understand what early use where?
Because it's underlined.
Can't we say yearly? Early.
It's early.
I mean, we obviously say it's early, but why not yearly?
Because it's not. Why is Krishna blue? Because he's blue. Oh, she's got a little curl on her E. A. Uh-oh. We got to get those little umbrella handles out of there. Ladies like to make things fancy. It's like icing on the cake. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. As in early. Let's revise our 5 now. Look how far we are on the list. Guess what, folks? We're almost halfway through. Okay?
We did H.
We're almost halfway through. Now we have some other sounds to pick up in here. I'm trying to show you how you task analyze to knock off a lot of big problems. Okay?
As in per.
Okay, as in her. As in first. As in nurse. As in worship. As in early. Her first nurse worships early.
Her first nurse
Worships early. She gets up early before she goes to work. The first nurse in the hospital is a devotee.
Yes, her first nurse worships early.
And she goes to Mangalarti before she goes. Nartam was saying his wife is head of the hospital. And, she's a devotee.
Oh my God, this is a sentence. Her first nurse worships early.
Yeah, she gets up and in the video you'll see I've taken a picture and I've focused on different parts of a picture to show her first nurse worships early. Okay? So we know that strange one. All right, now let's look at this little chart and we will see some stars. Do you see the stars? The yellow ones here? You don't have your charts yet. There are 4 yellow stars, one here and one there, 3 there. Those 4 all say shh, shh, because stars will shine. Now without you don't have these, we don't have them photocopied yet. We're trying to get more copies. Until the color comes out right, I won't buy them. So these stars help the child reduce the job. There are differences in which they are used.
Which one?
I won't say them now, but we'll just try to analyze. Now look at your chart. Do you see 2 orange ones? You don't have that here. Do you see 2 orange ones? Here and here. 2 green ones? 2 blue ones? 2 red ones? These are, I call them the twins. They make the same sound. The first one is used at the end of a spelling word. The second one is used inside. They make the same sound, but they're written differently. And the rule is that if you have an ending sound for a vowel, usually you have to add a Y or W at the end of a word. In English, they do that. So if I say the word say, it's S-A-Y. If I said said, it's S-A-I-D. If I say please pay the bill, it's P-A-Y. If I say I paid the bill, it becomes P-A-I-D. Do you understand? There's an internal spelling and there's an ending spelling. Traditionally, Y and W are put on vowel sounds at the end of words. So when a child says this, it's a mouthful. He'll say A. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows over, the last one. He'll have to say this. A. The 2-letter A that we can use at the end of an English word. Now that's a mouthful. But he understands that this is the way I spell an A sound at the end of a word. Like day. So it's 2 phonograms. It's D, A, the 2-letter A that we can use at the end of an English word. Up here, I say A, the 2-letter A that we cannot use at the end of an English word. So we have 4 sets like that. And they're shown in color here. A, oi, oi, ah, uyu, uyu. A, oi, oi, ah, uyu, uyu.
Last one.
Uyu, uyu. If you notice, the first one has a W or a Y, and the other one does not. The one that is ending, the child knows. If I see a W or a Y, that's what I use at the end of a word. If I have to use the same sound inside, it's the other spelling. It's the other phonogram. The best examples would be pay. Please pay the rickshawwala. I paid him. P-A-Y becomes P-A-I. D. And instead of saying P-A-I-D, we say P. A. The two-letter A we cannot use at the end of an English word. D. So the child scientifically knows why that word, he just doesn't have to memorize. He scientifically knows why it's spelled that way. And he has to say that when he's reciting. It's a very deep system. All right, let's see where we have some other matches. We saw the S's, SH, okay? We see a pencil here and a book here. You don't have those. R at the bottom of your list here. We roll it. And over here we see WR. This is the two-letter R. This is R, and this is R, the two-letter R. You'll find many combinations that are two letters, right? Remember we had F, and then we had the two-letter F. Okay? R. The two-letter R. Let's take a look at K. Here's the one over here. K. The two-letter K. Now this you'll usually find at the end of a word. You don't find a K like this at the beginning. K. I still didn't hear the last part? Okay, this is K. I'm sorry, K. And this is K. The two-letter K. You don't put a line under this, I'm sorry. If I write the word kick, this is the sound for beginning it, and this is the two-letter K for ending it. This is the way we end a K sound. Okay?
It's G or it's K?
K. K.
With the H sound.
No.
Little bit of H.
No.
Or
Just
it's
K. Just K. Kick.
kick.
Okay? So you find many two-letter, all right?
Kick
K.
and stick.
K. Two-letter K. And you saw the... I'll have to make sure Manaji doesn't have trouble with this. Sorry, we've got a cord here, Manaji. Forgive us. Sorry. Okay. This is... right? And this is what? Same sound, but two-letter F. Okay, you see? Can you all write this? You should be writing all these. Okay, you follow with me? You write this? And this is just no underline. This is the two-letter. Okay, so much. This one, let's get another one that's like this. Two-letter one. Oh yes, here we go. This is this one is also here, and you underline it. So this is and this is the two-letter R. Can you see how this starts to take the mystery out of pronunciation and spelling? Let's try the phonogram J. It's the first line, bottom letter. J. Now go to the opposite of your chart, up here. This is the three-letter J. Three-letter J. D. I don't have so much room for it. Like judge. We should not judge one another. J. A. J.
These are one of those twins, right?
They would be not twins. Twins means there's just a slight change in spelling for use. But this is just J, And this is the three-letter ja. And this you'll find at the end of the word, and this one you'll find at the beginning. You won't find just like this at the end of the word. You'll find this. Can you see how that helps spelling quite a bit? You had ka, the two-letter ka, ja, the three-letter ja, the two-letter r, the two-letter r. Are you okay? Getting a little dizzy? Oh, I hope this is too much for you. So austere. But you understand a little bit now? Let's get some more. We've seen the 5 Rs. We're seeing the 1 and 2-letter verses, or 3. Let's try another one. Oh, here we go. If you go into your second to last column, 2 down, okay, you will see this, and you underline it. This is I, the 3-letter I. As in high. We climbed a high hill. I, the 3-letter I. This helps children so much in reading because it looks like ig. Ig. I. But it's I, the 3-letter I.
Why is the first and the last underlined?
This, you'll see this GH is silent also in A, the 4-letter A. Let's do that one. This looks like the letters E, I, G, H. You underline all 4, and what do you have? A, the 4-letter A. So if I write the number 8, I would say A, the 4-letter A, T. A, the 4-letter A, T. I would have only 2 phonograms. I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters, but I would only have how many phonograms? See, so the phonograms chunk up they chunk up the letter, they chunk up the word, and they give the correct sound. But if you just read the letters, E, I, G, H, T, what do you get? What would you get?
A.
E, I, good. You wouldn't get that. But if he knows this is underlined, this is A, the 4-letter A, T, he can read that word. Okay? It's the same way with I, the 3-letter I. If I say hi, it's H, I, the 3-letter I. Okay, you follow so far? Can you see how this would help a child? Amazingly. Here's another one.
Have you done this, Mataji? E, I, and I, E? No.
Not yet. Those are the hardest ones.
Oh, okay.
Let us try these 2. Here's a sound, phonogram. Hmm. All right. Now let's go to the second to the last column, and we will see these 2 combinations. We will see this, and we will see this. They also say, You see, English is a very strange language.
I know that by now.
You know that by now. K, N, and G, N.
So this one is the 2-letter the tall one, because this is a tall letter. This is the 2-letter the short one. Example, knowledge. Not. We have a knot in the string. K-N. Do you hear the K? The Knights of England. K-N-I-G-H-T. There's a big one. The 2-letter the tall one. I, the 3-letter I, T. Totally different way to spell it, but you can see how quickly a child with phonograms would understand. Then there's N-I-G-H-T. N-I-G-H-T. Mm. I, the three-letter I, T. Fight. I, the three-letter I, T.
Mataji, I don't get this.
N, the two-letter N, as in knowledge.
Knowledge.
Or knot. Do you have a knot on your ribbon or string? The two-letter N, very rare. Very rare. There are these little things in Ireland called gnomes. They're little elves. Gnomes. You don't hear the G. They're little bugs that fly around the fruit. They're called gnats. It's spelled G-N-A-T-S. This is a very rare use.
Any other example for GN?
I think the word Gnostic and agnostic. Gnostic to some degree. It's very rare. Sign. If I
Sign.
have a sign, it's S-I and G-N. Sign. Okay. Is this sort of opening up a little bit of understanding of the phonograms? You can see how, and it's presented very systematically in the spelling list. And if they're combinations and they're fixed, they're always underlined. And they're numbered if they are in a sequence. Okay, let's see if we have some more that are comparative ones. Well, let's do the sh. This is the first one. If you'll see the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th column, sh. We underline this and we go like this. Shh.
Night.
This is sh, the plain one. This can be used only at the beginning and end of a word, like shine or dish. Okay? It's a beginning, sh, or it's an end. In the last column, you will see 3 phonograms, T-I, S-I, C-I. Those also say shh, but they are used in the middle of a word to change a word from one part of speech to another. Let's take an example. You are here because you want to educate children. Educate. If I say, this little boy deserves a good education, what happened to that T? With an I, it became sh. So this is called sh, the tall one. Because T is tall. Don't jump ahead. We have to go one at a time for everybody. So did you see what happened to educate? You take a word like nation. N-A-T-I. It changes, it will often change from one word to another. Frustrate. We do not want to frustrate the children. Frustration is an impediment to learning. Frustrate becomes frustrate. Sh. So that is sh, the 2-letter sh, the tall one. We're not going systematic. I'm trying to jump around to show you where you find these connections in this colored chart. Because once you see this colored chart and you see the patterns, then it breaks this whole thing down from 70 into practically half. Less than half. You see the point? Now you'll have trouble with some that make like A. You'll have so many phonograms that will say A. A, the 2-letter A you can use at the end of an English word. A, the 2-letter A you cannot use at the end of an English word. E, A, the 4-letter A, E, I. I mean, there must be 6 or 7 ways to say A. That's for a little bit later. But at least for now, let's see how we can reduce the size of these 70 blocks, where you can see I can knock off the consonants, I can section off the vowels, I know the 5 Rs, I know the twins, I know the 4 S's, okay? Let's take the next one. We see SI together. This makes two sounds because just S will make two sounds. S will either say S, it can also say Z. Let's use an example. This is called a homogram. Homogram. A word is spelled the same, but it's pronounced differently. I am standing close to the door. The S sounds like S. I am close to the door. If I close the door, what happens to that S? It becomes a Z. Does the spelling change? So the child, when he writes close, he won't put a 1 over the S. But if it's close, what will he put over the S? A 2. Because it's its second sound. It sounds a little complicated, but after a while, you know it takes two sounds, you start marking these, and the child knows, oh, this is close, this is close. If it's close, I put a 2 over the S, because it has to say Z. Now, the same thing happens with this. This is either sh or zh. It can either say, I'm trying to think of an SI sound.
Invasion.
The zh sound would be like television. Zhen. SI will be zhen, television. I'm trying to think of an SI sound. Can you think of
Sip.
No, it would be making a sh sound.
Invasion.
Huh?
Invasion.
No, it's making a zh sound.
Vision.
Vision, no, it's still making a zh.
What
I'm
sound do you
looking
want?
for S, the S sound.
Situation.
Situation, that's,
SITUA.
I'm trying to think. Oh, session. This is a learning session. There we go. It makes an SH sound. Session. Okay? Session, SH. Television, ZH sound. Okay? And the last one is CI, because C will also make an S sound before E, I, or Y. This would be facial. Face becomes facial. These are used when the word's changing from one part of speech to another, usually. Facial. Okay?
So it's SI, not S. S is different and SI is different.
Yes. Your first one was the tall one, TI. Second one was SHJ, SI. And the third one was CI, the short one. Let's just run through our chart now together. We've blocked off a lot. There are more things to do, but I just want to give you a walkthrough. So open your book up to the middle, and we'll just run through these. And we're just going to go down a column. I have, if I didn't put it on your hard drive, bring your hard drive tomorrow. I have a 16-minute video in which I pronounce the sounds. They're big on the screen. There's a picture of Krishna and time to repeat. So a child, he plays it every day, right? He watches it, he plays it 4 times a day. A child just sees that and you just drill it in. They get to the point where when we were drilling the 3-year-old, she could do all these phonograms in about 1.5 minutes. Like that. The point is automaticity. Fast, fast, fast. And don't put a word example in unless you need it for distinction of the phonogram. Okay, so say these with me now. You take your little book and you start with the first phonogram at the top. We're doing the first row of consonants together. Please say it. B. Just B. No 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 I, just B. Because the vowel that's next may be E, maybe U, maybe I, maybe. And then the child is adding another sound. He has to eliminate any vowel sound. He just says B. Because it may be bug, it may be big, it may be bottle, it may be that. If he says then it's not, you see, You have to just say the consonant. So let's say B. Next one, two sounds. K, S. We'll just run through the chart. Don't ask questions, we're just going to go through. Next, D. Next. Everyone can say. It's tiring, I know these chairs are not comfortable. Next one, two sounds. G, J. G, J. This is not 100% like kasa. Sometimes this doesn't work. Usually before E, I, or Y, G, we'll say G. I mean J. But we also have girl. We don't say gerl, but we will say gerbil.
Ginger.
And ginger, right. So usually before E, I, or Y, G, G, we'll say J. But there are exceptions. Good job. Next one is and the last one is Ju. Let's go up to the next one. K. Ooh. Huh. Kwa. Just say them with me. Don't try to write anything yet. Rrr. S. Z. T. Now we have to do something special. X, the fast one. X. You have to say the fast one. Because it sounds like kasa. But here we say x, like box. Fast one, he knows. Because you say it fast. 3 sounds for this. First is consonant, next two are vowels.
I.
He knows it. Yet it, I. Huh? Z. Now he's going to come and run through, and I'll show you. He's been only doing this a short time.
Yeah. It,
He's 4.5. Okay. What's the first one?
B, kasa, da, gaja, gaja, ha, ja, ka, pa, kwa, r, ta, what? The first one. Yeah, E-I.
I think you should applaud. That's fantastic. Isn't that wonderful? You can see he's 4.5, and he keeps practicing these, and then when he practices writing them, and then he starts the spelling system, which is mind-blowing. They start reading after about 200 spelling words, just reading. Because this they have taken in all the mysteries of English, all of the weird combinations. They have learned them, and they mark them, and they know why they are the way they are. Okay? So, did you think he did a good job on that?
Great.
Okay, now let's say our vowels. We have 3 sounds for some and 2 for others. And I stress the second sound because that names the letter. Listen carefully. A, O. Say. Did you hear the second sound? It said A. That means it's this phonogram. Because we have many phonograms that will say A. At least 6 or 7. This is A, O. When I hear A, the child knows, oh, it's this one. Now you have 2 sounds. F-E. I stress the E. The second sound names the letter. The child will write this. If I say the phonogram E, he will write this. Now I will say I. The second named the letter. He will write. Did you hear what he said the next one? And now we see the next one. A, O, This one has 3 sounds. U, U, Now you can see how strange this is because this would be,
What for you?
would be as in up and as in put. It doesn't put, it's put. Strange. U, 3 sounds. U, Oh, see, like he's really going at it over there. Do you see he's 4.5? Are you convinced? How long has he been practicing this?
1 week.
1 week. Did you hear that? 1 week.
1.5 to
Maybe 2. Are you convinced?
What's for A?
All right, let's do our vowels again. I always make the children compare it to an animal sound, like a little donkey. A, ah. Okay? And next the mouse. E. And then the elephant. I. And the owl. And the bear. Okay. And then we know as in and as in and as in and as in worships and as in see, you know those already. Knocked off now. Now we're going to do sh, the plain one. SH, can you say sh, the plain one? Sh, the plain one, because it's either before or in. E double E. E double E. 2 sounds for this. Th. Like thin or this. The. If it's the second sound, the child underlines it and he puts a 2 over it. Because it means it's the second sound. You see how simple it becomes? If it's thin, he just underlines it. But if it's this, he underlines it and puts a 2 over it. Then it's it's.
If it's a second sound, he underlines it and puts the 2. If it's a second sound,
Yes, you put the 2 over it.
underlines and puts the 2.
Yes.
And if it's just the first, you just underline.
If it's always underlined if it's more than 1 letter. But if it's more than 1 sound, you have to put the number over the combination to show how many, which one. Like if it's 6 sounds, if it's the 6th one, you underline it and you put a 6.
And if it's the fourth, you put the 4.
If it's 4, you put a 4. That's easy. It looks complicated, but it's systematic. And because they practice it constantly before they do anything, they've learned it. And it opens up the door completely. Okay. A, the 2-letter A. Hold up your fingers. A, the 2-letter A. That we can use at the end of an English word. That we can use at the end of an English word. A, the 2-letter A. We cannot use at the end of an English word.
Sorry?
Can't use that AI at the end. It's used inside.
Paid.
Yes. The next one.
Oh.
Oh, we go to a doctor now. The first one makes 2 sounds, the next one makes 4. Are you ready? You have to go to the doctor.
Doctor.
Ow, oh. So pinch yourself and say ow. 2 sounds. The next one makes 4 sounds. Ow, oh, ooh, ah.
Ah.
Ready? Ow, oh, ooh, ah. You won't be able to do them all now. When you get the video, when you watch the slideshow, you'll see everything there. We'll take a moment to watch that. But we'll run you through this now. Okay, OY and OI. Oi, say that you can use at the end of an English word. Like boy.
Boy.
The next one, oi, cannot use at the end of an English word. as in
Oil.
oil. Now there are exceptions. Oyster, for instance, is OY.
And oil.
But in general, oi that you have to use like boy or toy, and oi as in oil. Okay? Soil, toil. Ah, that you can use at the end of an English word.
Soft.
Ah,
Ah.
that you cannot use. Exactly. Autumn, there's a good one. Or taught.
Taught.
Right. Uyu. Say uyu. That you can use at the end of an English word. Uyu. You cannot use at the end of an English word. Like suit, fruit. Okay. Now we put glasses on for two O's.
Oh.
It sounds a lot like the two O. This one's, listen, the O comes at the end. Ooh, up, oh. Ooh, up, oh. The other one was ah, oh, ooh. These get pretty close. The child has to have a very sharp sense of discrimination because he's given a test regularly in which he hears the phonogram sound and he has to write it and mark it. He has to be able to write and correctly mark all 70 phonograms. That's pretty amazing. If I say ooh, oh, he'll write 2 circles. If I say ah, oh, ooh, he'll just write 1 circle. Okay? Next one. You won't believe this, but CH makes 3 sounds. And we use it like a train. You know how the old trains had pistons for the wheels? Ch, k, sh, ch, k, sh. You hear those trains when they hit the brakes? It's like a steam sound, right? So we go ch, k, sh, chicka-sh, chicka-sh, chicka-sh. See, that's like the train. Chicka-sh. And ch as in church. Okay? K as in architect. Sh as in chivalry. Actually, in India, they say schedule. We say schedule. But in India, they say schedule.
Schedule.
Schedule. This is next one you need to get through, okay? No problem. Next one. A nice one. Ng. Like the shringity. Next one. E, 3 sounds. E, A. E, A. E-F-A. And each one, the first one says its name, the next one is short, and the last one says its name. E, then E, then A. And the next one on that line is very easy. R. It's just the way it looks. R. Like in car, far, star. You know this one now. The 2-letter K. This is an ending for verbs. 3 sounds. Ed, d, t. Depending on the letter before it. Ed, d, t. It can be someone is learned, and another ed would be, trying to think what's it.
Beheaded.
If you say, can't think of a verb now.
Dead.
Well, no, that's a different combination. Like play, played. Play. He played a game. Played.
What word do you want?
Ed, d, t. Ed, d, t. So the first one was learn, learned. The next one was play, played. Just say d. And if it says t, it would be stop, stopped.
Stopped.
Stopped. You can't say d, stop and d. Stopped.
What about spent?
Which one?
Spent.
Spent.
Spent. That's a different spelling.
S-P-E-N-T.
It's a different spelling.
It's a different-
But we're
And
saying
learned?
if you're having ED, you would get 3 sounds for that.
Learned?
Edita. Learn becomes learned. Or learned.
Learned.
Yeah.
L-E-A-R.
That's just
E-D or T.
ED. Okay? Edita. Next one is or. That's easy. We'll quickly finish this and we'll go watch the video. Hua. This is just like what, but the H is first. What? O as in boat. Now these 3 are the hardest. I'm just going to say them. A, E, I. E, A, I. E, I, I. I leave these for last. They're the hardest. I, the 3-letter I. A, the 4-letter A. N, the 2-letter N. The tall one. N, the 2-letter N, the short one. R, the 2-letter R. The 2-letter J, the 3-letter J, bridge. O as in toe. G as in ghost. Sh, the tall one. Sh, sh, the short one. O, oo, off, off, aw, ow. And that's it. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. It's hot. Everybody's tired. Should we watch the quick little video and you can see all these now? Okay, and we'll just do that. And then I think what we can do tomorrow when we convene, if people can, on Nirjal Ekadasi, or I don't know what you want to try to do tomorrow. It's going to be a bit tough. But we can start to explain how to put these in a spelling.
Yeah.